Hopefully you can now. I thought you might have even enjoyed the silence. Silence is always good. Allegedly. But it's not good when you're broadcasting. In fact, it's actually really, really bad. But, right. Yeah, that was really weird coming up saying controller was disconnected and I just couldn't get rid of it off the screen, which obviously is not really brilliant for anyone who wants to actually watch anything rather than just listen to my voice rambling on, which is kind of cool. There we go. So hopefully that hasn't disrupted everything quite so much. In the meantime, I've not known what's been going on, so... Alright, yeah, of course that's worked out really nice actually. We got the disaster at the right time, didn't we? Because at least it was after the race, before we had the disaster. But, so what Magnus is probably doing is just sorting out the grid order for qualifying 2, said in a really weird voice, which actually didn't sound like anything at all. But, and knowing how studious Magnus is, he'll be there for 26 years doing it. But obviously we don't mean that really. Then again, no, it's like I say, in the meantime, obviously I'm never short for a word. That's why I'm called Motormouth. Some of you may know that. Some of you who are unfortunate enough not to know that will know so before the end of this evening. But it's just one of those things. I just enjoy it. It's good fun. I like racing too, don't get me wrong, but it's just when it comes to rallycross, I suck. I have tried. It was something that I'd never tried doing till we met up with a few guys, and that's how obviously Magnus and my paths crossed, and kind of it works. I kind of enjoy it. Rallycross is kind of short and sweet, which is slightly different to track racing obviously, but it's pretty quick fire and it's good fun, and it's actually quite hard to commentate on sometimes, but it can be good fun. It is damn good fun, I gotta be fair there. It is a bit of a riot. Let's see. Sorry, I'm doing two things at once, and because I'm a woman I can't do it, allegedly. I keep telling my wife that anyway. I'm a bloke, I can't do two things at once. I can't. Yeah, well, in all fairness, RX is fun. To be quite fair on that, it is fun. I mean, it's not something you're going to do unless you find it fun, is it? In all seriousness, and in all fairness to anybody, you know, for people who don't really know too much about rallycross, again, for somebody like me, probably go back more than a year. Yeah, certainly that. I mean, I was looking at some photos that Magnus gave me of a bit of a test session. I don't know whether you were involved in that, but one of the cars must have been, in game terms, about 40 feet up in the air, which was kind of hilarious. It must have been hit at like 197 miles an hour to send it that high in the air. It was even better than that F3 one the other day. It was like some dodgy sort of pyrotechnics from the A-Team, which is way before your time. But basically, when you're in a film and you see a car going along and they show an explosion, it just inexplicably jumps into the air and does 27 forward rolls, when it would never, ever, ever really do that in real life. It'd probably just go and go over to the side, but that's crap. It doesn't look any good on telly, does it? But no, in fairness, that was really good. That looked brilliant. And I know there's a few lads in it. There's quite a few of the guys in here I know from previous, I won't say no, but we kind of know of each other. There's one or two guys who have joined in here who I know from other racing places, you never know who knows who, do you? But it'd be interesting to see them. It'd be interesting to see how it all gels. And that's the idea of doing a test thing tonight. I suppose this is a good test to see how long I can waffle for with total inane drivel while I'm waiting for our leader to put together some grid sheets for the next one. I didn't even see how they all were because of the issue that came up on there. Yeah, that's what I. That's what I. That's no. Well, like I say, I know you from racing elsewhere. Like I say, but I just didn't know that you were one. Crusher Bro is another one, who I won't say no, but I know from elsewhere. I've come across driving in other places. I think with Crusher, I've seen him racing in Gavra when I was there. I've seen him racing at Trollvision when I was there, and somewhere else probably as well, but I can't remember. I'm getting old. Memory's not what it used to be. But I'm assuming, and going off your 1997, then that's probably your year of birth. Unless you're going to tell me that you're 73 and that was when your daughter was born or something. I doubt that very much. Yeah, that was... And again, that's how people come across each other. That's how everyone comes across one another, isn't it? I started racing with... God, I think my first ever was Gavra, in all fairness. And then you just kind of meet other people in lobbies and they go, oh yeah, I race with such a buddy. And if you're a clean racer, they invite you along to the server. And before you know it, I was racing every night of the week. But I couldn't... It just got a bit too much. Good fun, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna knock that, but I race now on a Thursday, then a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and obviously then this on a Wednesday. That's enough for me. 4 racing nights, 1 commentary night, and 2 nights of doing sweet sod all. Yeah, Gavra's pretty good. Gavra Racing. Again, I'm not here to like shout out loads of other groups, but in all fairness, it's really well run. They're a good group, in all fairness. So if you are listening to this and you want to race other than Rallycross somewhere else, then give Gavra Racing a knock. They're a decent group, to be fair. There's plenty of good groups out there. I race with a group called Green Light on a Saturday night because not everybody likes to race at the weekend, but we do because we're all sad, and we don't go out and get bladdered anymore because we're too old. And half of them have got kids and they can't do anything anyway, bless them. So for them it's a night in with the guys in a pub, but we're all trying to drive and mess around as well. It's a bit of a giggle. It's good fun. But in all fairness, so here we go. Right, I can see on here we've just got up the Q1 results, so for those that can't see it, I'm gonna pop them up. So leader after qualifying 1 is Mr. Robin Norlander, so a round of ammunition for you. That was me just clapping because I haven't got any of the canned clapping that they used to have in BBC programmes years ago, which sounded awful anyway, but maybe I can record one. But in the meantime, but like I say, so what we've got here, I'm just trying to look at all the heats. So Robin was top, Magnus in second, RS Ripper in third. Not much between those times, in all fairness. Top race time was 222.4, so that's the benchmark. 223.3, 223.8, 224. That's a pretty good heat, isn't it? That's pretty good. Helmer then again 224. Ripper Rapper 226. Martin number 10 226. Crusher 227. Hey, that's your first proper race, mate. That's not a bad effort. Far better than I would have done. Brambo 229. You did all right, mate. You did all right. Littenhage 123, who I believe was called something else before, but I'm completely confused now. But we'll get onto that. NPR Young was his first one in Harvard. I don't think had a greatest start, but hey, it's a test run. Don't worry. So obviously then, so in lobby 1, as you can see, we're just all filling up. So we've got Robin Norlander, we've got Elboy, we've got RS Ripper, and we've also got Mr. Bocco Bomb 69, otherwise known as Magnus for me because it's easier to say. We just need to make sure that we got lobby 2. I'm sure that Brambo will probably be hosting that one. So Brambo, Johnny, NPR Young. So Johnny Dip is... This is where I'm getting really confused now. Johnny Dip is who was Littenhage 123. I think I've got that. I think. Please tell me if I'm wrong. And I'll ignore you completely because I just want to be right all the time. But that's okay. So we're just making sure that we've got everything going up. So we should have 3 lobbies on the go. Again, like I say, this is a test run. This is why we test stuff, to make sure that everything's going fine. And if it doesn't, we get to find out why it isn't going fine. Righty ho, so we're getting there. Like I say, this is all to iron out all little tweaks and stuff like that. That's what it's there for. That's why a test is always good. Something weird came up on YouTube for me, so these things do happen. So yeah, so here we are, like I say, just getting everything ready and rocking, and we should all be good to go. And again, like I say, it should be much more polished when we get the proper event up and running. That's why it's worth doing these. See what went well, see what went not so well. Iron out any of the issues. I had 1 or 2 obviously with YouTube, things that they've changed, but hey, we're good to go. So hopefully everything will be fine. There will be no more unmitigated disasters that PlayStation decide to throw at us, like saying let's just fill the screen with a controller disconnection piece, which looks really great. And if you haven't noticed, look at that nice little strap line at the bottom there. It says Legends Racing League RX, the real home of RX on PS4. Obviously for the untutored RX, yeah, it means Rallycross. Well done. But we'll put something else there another time, but for now it's that. So here we are at the start. This is a pretty solid looking heat. In fact, they all are. So we've got Hellboy, we've got RS Ripper, we've got Mr. Norlander, who hopes to have a much better start this time. And we've got Mr. Bocco Bomb in his usual Audi, which will be sideways for most of the part. So, we are hopefully, there you go, that's the screen going. They've done their last minute little bits and bobs, whatever they might be. You can hear all the noise, the engines are revving, see who can blow their engine first. It won't be me. So anyway, here we go, we're off. 4 laps of craziness, all beginning in, is this an Audi battle? It could be an Audi battle. Good evening, Mr. Jiminal, welcome to you. Why does it say war? Does that mean that you want to go to war? Anyway, in the meantime, Bocco Bomb and Hellboy, they were pretty close in the last one, weren't they? So this is going to be a bit of a fight. But Robin Norlander's already taken his Joker, he's got that out of the way pretty early doors. RS Ripper, he's still within touching distance. He's only 2 and a bit seconds outside. Like I say, for those of you that might just be joining us, I am keeping this trackside for the most part. What I'm trying to do is see what is best. I know at hell this seems to get a pretty good view, whereas if I look at some of the others, oh, there's a little bit of tete-a-tete there between Magnus and Mr. Norlander, who is actually in a Honda, of course. One Honda amongst the Audi Spectacular. But again, 4 laps, anything can happen, you know that. And I almost liken this to, it's sort of like the car version of Speedway, isn't it, if you've ever watched that on the TV? Which again is something that, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure originated in sort of Denmark, Norway, Sweden, around about there. If you know that, stick it in the chat. Maybe, you know, we get educational here as well. It's not just brilliant racing. But again, all 4 guys are within 2 seconds of each other. And this is a pretty high-class field. For those of you that don't know, this is a pretty high-class field. And again, yeah, I'm sorry if I'm keeping it all trackside, but again, if we get on board with people, it is quite interesting at times. If I jump in with Hellboy at the back here, it's still only 1.8 seconds, so you get a little view of everybody there. So at times it will look pretty good at times. And you get all the tyre screeching and all the rest of it. Absolutely. They're all high class. Of course they are, right? High class at what? I don't know, but but no, I say, some of these views are pretty good. Some of these views are interesting. But it's difficult within a 4-lap race. I'm not sure whether I like that one. Oh! Someone's just died. But then we got to the end of the race really quickly. That's a good time. That's 2:22.7. That's is that just taking the fastest? This, it's pretty damn close. It's pretty damn close. That much I do know. But it's a win for Bocco Bomb. Norlander not far behind, half a second for that matter. RS Ripper 1.3 seconds behind. Elboy only 1.9 seconds behind. 2:24.7 comes last in the heat. You know it's good, don't you? Let's be fair. I'd be like 2 minutes 24 per lap. I really am that good. Now, when it comes to rallycross, I am like the snail with broken legs, if that's indeed possible. Or no, it's just got a foot, hasn't it? Well, I could have a broken foot then instead. But yeah, that was a pretty mean heat, literally. It'd be interesting to see how the other two fared. Obviously, we can't show you them all because the fact is it'd take us about 3 years in which to do a broadcast. That's why what we've decided to do, and this is what we're testing, in each round there are, of course, 3 heats. If we have a full complement in a normal rallycross, as you guys will all know, if you know rallycross, then you will know that we do 4 rounds, usually with 4 heats in. We have tried with another group once upon a time, trying to do every single heat and broadcasting the whole damn lot. Whilst it's great and it works, it's a hell of a long night for all involved. Approximately 3 hours we were looking at, which is a pretty long time. So what we're deciding to do is to try and sort of condense it into about an hour or so, which is better for the guys taking part. But obviously we can't show you every single race. So what we do is we show you 1 round within the heat, or 1 heat within the round. Let's get it the right way around, shall we? So you'll get to see 1 of them. So you get to see 4 in a qualifying. And then obviously what happens then, as you all know, the top 12 will go into the semi-finals, and then they'll run their 2 semis to then make the 6 for the final. But you all knew that anyway, didn't you? Of course you did. We know that you know. So there we go. So in the meantime, if we've got anyone else who wants to jump in the chat, I know there's 5 of you watching, but that's probably all of us. If anyone else wants to say something, say hello, go on, you know you want to. I'm just going to put that in and say hello. Oh, there you go. It comes up within about 2 or 3 seconds. Just a slight delay, but then again, that gives us an idea on where we are, and then it takes about another 10 seconds to come up on the stream that I can see on there. So that gives me a bit of an action replay. But yeah, look, in the next one now we'll try some different camera angles. We'll see where that goes. It's just trying to have a look. It's not, whereas with track racing you can just go from person to person because it's kind of a bit different, and you can look all the way down a long straight or etc. Certain parts of a track where you get really good coverage. With this it's a little bit different. Certain tracks look good because we've tried some of these before, and some of them don't really look that great. It's not the fact that the track's got a problem, it's just the camera angles that sometimes you get off here, which aren't always shall we say the most helpful. Yeah, I agree. That's why I've kept the trackside camera on most of the time. I'm just flitting around with 1 or 2 of the others, but hell really does look decent with trackside. It's got pretty broad coverage. If everyone's reasonably close together, which I think in most of the races they will be, then you get pretty good coverage of everyone. Because the worst thing is, if you're in a race, for whatever reason, there's not much coverage of you and it's a bit naff. So it's kind of nice to get everyone involved. But in a 4-lap race, it's a bit hard not to be looking at the leaders, unless you've got somebody who's running away with it completely and the other 3 have just crashed. It does happen, as you know, but yeah, that's probably not really helpful to the most part for a lot of people. So we want everyone to sort of get some fun out of it. Obviously not everyone can see all their races at the end of the night. If they want to look back on it, see what they did well, what they didn't do well, etc, etc. But you know, it's all good fun, and the main thing is that everyone enjoys it, and that's what we want. It's all about enjoyment for everybody, because that is what we like. Allegedly. Well, some people do, unless you're a bit weird, in which case we're just not going there, because it's still before 9 o'clock and I can't say really rude things anymore, except that you're actually an hour in front of us, aren't you? So as I say, it's 20 to 8, it's 20 to 9, so in 20 minutes I can be rude and swear and everything. No, I won't. I'm really good like that. I save all my swearing for my wife. She deserves all of it. No, she doesn't. I'm just being mean now, aren't I? I'll be called a sexist pig by the end of the night, and everything else. But no, I'm not. I'm just a nice sad old git who just wants to sit in his house watching Rallycross and then talking complete inane drivel. But at least this gives me a place where I can do so. Isn't that good? Yay! Welcome to online gaming, everybody. Who needs radio DJs when you can just have some pillock like me just waffling on innately for God knows what? But it's all good, clean fun. We all enjoy it. And if we all get something out of it, then that's what makes the world go round, isn't it? You know, we can't all be bus drivers, because then there'd be no bloody passengers to get on, would there? See? There is some philosophy in this life. There is. So obviously, in the meantime, I know that Mr. Bocco is there with his abacus, which he brought back with him from 87 BC, which is way before an abacus was probably invented. But I believe he's been there with it, trying to work out whether 3 minutes 27 is slower than 2 minutes 46. He might work out in the end that it is, but not. He knows I don't mean it, really. We all love him, don't we, because he's such a nice lad. Said in a really dubious, dodgy accent. And I don't even know what it was meant to be. It was just something that just happened at the time. So, hey ho, these things happen. Ooh, there's lots of bleeping going on. There must be lots of conversations going on Discord. Yay, I can see it, I can see it. There are lots of things. So yeah, here they are just in case. Alright, that's okay. That was just putting all the settings that we are running, of course. And everything then. And just in case you didn't notice, because, you know, you would have been transfixed watching the races, but if you were one of those people that just likes to look at the countryside and see what the weather's like and stuff like that, it's actually known as medium cloud. And I don't know how big a cloud has to be a medium cloud, rather than a small cloud, a large cloud, an absolutely bloody great big huge cloud. But that's a medium cloud, so we'll take it as, you know, that's what the game tells us. It's a medium cloud, so there you go. Be told. Weather progression is real life, so obviously it progresses over 4 laps. Not a lot, in reality. So there we go. So obviously I can see some of the scores coming up, scores on the doors from the various other lobbies. But that's okay, that's fine. That's happy days. Yeah, I think. I like the fact that you said you keep your lobby up because you're still going to be in lobby 3. You're really confident, aren't you? Yeah, Crusher was saying, is there a 30-second wait time? There is from when you get invited, but don't worry about that. That's where. Yeah, that's cool. That's all right. He's got it. I can see. I'm just catching up with all your conversations. Oh, right. So you haven't done Q2, right? Okay. Fair enough. That's all right. 229, 228 is still okay, man. I mean, again, you, as you know yourself, you know, you're racing with pretty high-end guys here, in all fairness, and you're holding your own, so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong in that at all, in fairness. If you're coming straight in and doing those sort of times, then it's only going to get better. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, you're not. You can see that by the way that you're driving around the track, which I haven't seen much of because you've not been in the lobby that I'm in, but that's okay. If you're doing those sort of times, you're obviously doing something right. So Helmer just didn't make it, so unfortunately that's yeah. Everyone's in the semi. I know, that's what I always say. If I'm in a race with 3 people, I've got a chance of being on a podium. It's all about fun tonight. Tonight's for. It doesn't matter if things. Well, it does, but it doesn't matter massively if things don't go to plan and everything like that. But there'll be lessons to learn from tonight that we can take into the season proper. That's why it was always good to do a test one. It's just like when there's a new TV series that they want to start on telly. They do a pilot, don't they? That's on for an hour and a half, and everyone decides whether it was crap or not. If it's actually any good, then they go, right, we'll do a series out of this, and if it's really poo and people don't like it, then they bin it. And then they come up with some other rubbish that we watch instead. But we don't do that, you see. We don't. Ours is prime time stuff all the time. Top quality, top level, and no cost. But if you would like to transfer $17.8 billion or any other currency into my bank account, please direct message me and I will give you the details. Oh, bank transfer will be very nice. But if you want to send me gold bullion, that's okay too. I'm open to anything, really. Well, reasonably. So, anything that means I can buy a Pagani Zonda. Please. Pretty please. Oh, sod you then if you're not going to. Never mind. But in the meantime, like I say, this is a part where if we were a TV channel, you'd have adverts, wouldn't you? If it was an American channel, you'd have like 2 minutes of watching NFL and 67 minutes of adverts, followed by like they bring on a whole different team for the next bit. It's like, what's all that about? Somebody please ingratiate me with that one, because it's just kind of beyond my poor little brain. I just don't go that far. Anyway, in the meantime, hopefully some of the testing we're doing, I'd love to buy a Zonda. Yeah, if I could pick any car out there, I just like Zondas. I just like the way they look. They look weird. They look different to anything else, and they're pretty quick, to be fair. Although, nice Koenigsegg would be good. In fact, loads of things would be good. A Ferrari F40 would be decent, just although it's probably got no ABS or anything, but yeah, just like anything. At the moment I'm running around in a Jaguar XJ, which is nice enough anyway, and it's comfy, so it'll do. It goes fast enough. Anything that went any faster at a local constabulary would love me. Not. It's one of those things, isn't it? At least I can drive here at 160 mile an hour and not get arrested, which is something different. But anyway, like I say, everyone will be in the semi, but again, it's just testing out total time for stuff. Okay, some things have taken a bit longer than we thought, some things have, aren't going to work, but then you do something like this and you bang your heads together and all that happens. So I think the main thing, oh dear, not a good one for Crusher then. No idea where the others were. Don't worry, mate. It's only a test, but it's good to get the crap out of the way before you do the season proper. Anyway, that's the way I always look at it. Except, unfortunately for me, it just follows me. It's just one of those things. Can't help it. Aha! Yes, you could. Could you become Lobby 2? Does that make you a number 2? Which in English has different connotations. I'll let you work that one out. You might be aware of it anyway, but it could be something you know. Okay. So Karen just joined. Right, okay, that's fair enough. So we should be ready. So just to give you second best, can't fault it. So I'll just give you a quick rundown. The qualifying two. The hold up there, guys, was, I think somebody had an issue or somebody didn't turn up, and people were very nice and gave them every chance to sort of jump in, but I don't think it happened, but not a problem. So 222.4 for MPR Young, that's pretty good going. 222.7 for obviously Bucko Bomb in the one that you saw with us. 223 for Martin number 10. 223 again for Robin Norlander. See, these times are starting to get tighter now, aren't they? 224s for Ripper and Elboy. 227 indeed for Ripper Rapper. 228 for Lytton Hodge, who's now otherwise known as Johnny Dip, I think, but again somebody will correct me on that. Brambo just gets lobbed into lobby 3 according to me. With 228.7, again better than 229, so you're getting better. 232 for Harvard. Obviously Crusher didn't have the best one there, and Helmet didn't start, but he looks like he's still around and about, so hey, we shall see. But again, they'll all still be quite tight races, and I think that yeah, there's obviously something. Look, at the end of the day, you can't wait for all day for them. That's why it is what it is. Well, best of luck to the guys in the other lobbies. But obviously, in our lobby, we're going to have MPR Young, Bucko Bomb, otherwise known as Magnus, Martin number 10, Robin Norlander as the top 4 times from the previous round. Which again, if you didn't know Rallycross, that is how the grid places are done for each subsequent round. So again, okay, so I think we somehow lost Helmet maybe after the first race. I don't know what happened to him in the first race. I just know that he was close to a wall. Ah, right, he's put on there saying that he didn't get an invite. Okay, that could be something to do with PlayStation. It might depend on people's own settings. That could be to do with their settings on their PlayStation. If they've got friends only, somebody who might not be on their friends list sends them a message, sends them an invite, they don't get it through, the person that sends it doesn't know that they didn't get it through, and everyone just waits for somebody else. Yeah, not ideal. But again, things that we can suss out and iron out and get out of the way. So it should be good to go. In the meantime, so we're going into Q3. Obviously we are heat number 1. Heats 2 and 3 will be taking place relatively simultaneously. I do say relatively. Yeah, we'll just have to see, won't we? But hopefully everything's all good to go. Let's have a look on here. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Yeah, I think that's what they said. In the meantime, we're good to go. So again, I'm gonna pretty much keep this on the trackside camera, but we will test 1 or 2 others out. Again, that's your cockpit view. That's your chase view as we're ready to go. I don't know, chase view might work, but I'm gonna go for this for the start because you certainly get a better view. So rock and roll Q3. This should be fast. It should be really quick. So we've got 2 taking the Joker. We've gone for a straight split. So Martin and MPR, or Martin and Bucko went for the Joker. So he's got that out of the way pretty quick. That's a pretty good. Didn't we have 2 doing the Joker? I thought we had 2 doing the Joker. Why is it only showing me 1? It might be just because they're showing quite tight. But in the meantime, we've got the leaders here who we're looking at a piece of grass. Why we're looking at a piece of grass? We didn't want that, did we? So Robin Norlander is flying away. He was flying away in first, but obviously that's now been taken by MPR, who I thought had already done his Joker. It's not showing it on my thing, but I thought he'd definitely done his Joker. With obviously Magnus in third, Robin Norlander in fourth, but they've just swapped places, have they? A little bit of touching there, but again, it's rallycross, so you know there is some touching allowed as long as you're not trying to bump people out of the way to make some space for yourself. But I think Magnus might have him here. This is tight. This is tight. No quarter taken, no quarter given either. In all fairness, but that's a good little battle at the front there. MPR Young's got himself a nice little space out front there. He's got nice clean air to run into. Martin number 10 is feverishly trying to catch up. I think that's wrong. I thought MPR had already done his Joker. I'm pretty sure he has, but it's not showing up on here, which is a bit weird. So obviously into Robin, who's gone. Is Magnus going to get him? He's got him on the inside. He's got him on the inside. Oh, they both got pushed a bit there, but it's, you know, all's fair in love and war, kind of. Let's get to the front again. The Martin number 10 into lap 4, into the final lap. For one reason or another, Magnus didn't get a very good start there. He usually gets pretty good starts, but he didn't this time. Clutch dipping didn't quite work. So this is Martin number 10's to lose, which he ain't going to do now because he's going to cross the finishing line. He takes the win. Oh, and then crashes into the barrier, because that's what you do at the end of a rallycross race. It's just one of them things. You can just pile into there. So that's a 222.5. Okay, I thought it might have been faster than that, but it's still not bad. MPR Young 223.4. Magnus with a 225. Probably not too happy with that. In theory, that possibly should have been the fastest heat for all four, but it sometimes doesn't pan out like that, does it? You know, 225.2 is the slowest in that heat, which is amongst probably 4 of the fastest guys, if not the 4 fastest guys. And that's how it goes. It's rallycross. It's 4 laps of mayhem, madness, whatever else you want to call it, but it's 4 laps of it. But again, another good race, all quite tight, and that's the one thing that you get with rallycross that you don't get with any other type of racing. Unless there's some sort of disaster taking place, then it is pretty close-knit racing. And I think that was what makes it fun. It might be 2 and a bit minutes of ramping around the track, but it's 2 and a bit minutes of white knuckle ride, I think, is probably the way I'd term that. Because let's face it, you can't take the eye off the ball for a second. Otherwise, you'll probably be visiting something called wall. And on other tracks, I don't know if it's so prevalent here, but on other tracks, there are 1 or 2 sort of what I would call tyre bales. Don't be fooled, they're probably encased in concrete and they will kill you. They're evil. They're these nasty things that somebody thought up and thought, ha ha ha, if you try and cut a corner, you're going to hit this and it's going to ruin your race. So I think I'd rather do it in a sim racing environment than in real life, because I'd like to keep my legs. I think they'd be a little more useful then. So anyway, so that's Q3, which is done. So we've got that done and out the way. So now it's Q4. I've got a funny feeling that Lobby 1 might have a little bit of difference in it after that race, because let's face it, it didn't quite go to plan for a few, did it? So in that respect, that might just look a little different. In fact, it might just be a little different, but we shall see. Again, like I say, it's a bit of a test, so it's a bit samey at times, because obviously you've only got 12 people in this. We'll be closer to 20, probably around about the 17 mark, I would hope. Be nice to get a full 20 in. That'd be really good. But obviously we can see what transpires. We shall see. This is what we wait for, you see. You know what's going to happen. Or you don't know what's going to happen. It's one of the two. Because when you've got 2 options, it's definitely one more. And the Crusher Pro has got a timer going on for 20 minutes before he needs to go. I was going to say, where? To the toilet? No, I'm joking. He's on a tight sked. So we probably won't make... so let me see, send that. So obviously with regarding some invites where one or two things went a little bit awry there, but again, they are things that we can iron out and sort out, make sure everyone's on everyone else's friends list and this, that and the other, and just make sure, little things, but little things can make a big difference. So hey, we just see what we can do. But until you do something like this, those things don't come to mind, because they're not something that you sit there in your chair and go, oh, I wonder if I'm on everybody else's friends list. It's not the sort of thing you do, is it? Let's be honest. Well, if you do, you're sad, I'm sorry, but I don't think I've ever sat there and gone, I wonder, is he my friend? I don't know. I mean, do you periodically go through your friends list and go, who's that? I have absolutely no idea. But hey. Let's have a look. Let's see what goes. See, again, I'm multitasking now. I am typing on Discord while having this up on my screen while talking. Is that 3 different things? Because I'm looking at one thing, typing, and... oh, I don't know. I'm just wasted on this planet. Well, I certainly was between the ages of 15 to 21. But not wasted in the way that you're thinking. Probably, well, actually I was. I was completely and utterly blooded. But, hey, that's another story. Let's see. Let's have a look. Let's see here. So hopefully we could be ready to go reasonably soon. But again, it's just trying out things, because obviously what will happen is at the end of obviously our heat that you get to see on here, the other 2 heats will be taking place at hopefully pretty much the same time. So we get the results in. Again, somebody will take a screenshot of those results of those. They probably DM those to Magnus, or it might be a good idea to stick them up on here. I don't know what's going to be easiest. It'd be good to stick them up on here, because I get to see him at the same time he does, which means I can waffle and tell you about the results of the other races while that's being compiled. But again, these are things that we look into and we see how they're going to work. And that's what it's all about. That's what you do a test for, isn't it? It's testing, obviously, he said nonchalantly. In the meantime, I'm just going to have a swig of 0 sugar orange drink from a company beginning with F, but they're not paying me any money, so I'm not saying what the whole name is. Sod them. If you want to pay me some money, by the way, the company beginning with F that ends in Anta, then you can if you want. Sorry, shouldn't laugh at your own jokes, it's really poor. But I must admit, it doesn't taste that bad. It's halfway reasonable in all fairness. Not bad at all. It's not too fizzy, so I won't burp all night, because you don't want to do that really, do you? It would be rather uncouth, wouldn't it? Let's see. No, that's okay. I was just checking my phone to see if anyone sent me anything exciting. No. Story of my life. So what will happen after Q4 then? I'm assuming that after Q4 we will be at a point where we have a little break. I'm not sure. There was a crash in lobby 3. Oops, oh dear, yes. I've got a feeling who came the worst off of that, looking at those times. But so Elboy was the fastest, 222.3. Mighty number 10, 222.5 exactly. MPR Young 223.4. Bocco Bomb 225. Just snuck into the top lobby. But he's really excited by that. Sorry, into the top group. So So Hellboy taking in 50 points that were on offer for winning Q3. Again, what we will probably look to try and do from once the season kicks off, again, these are things that pan out as you're going on. You get the results of each of them. It'd be probably reasonable if then we get an updated version, so you get to see who's won each, but then you get to see an updated version showing who's leading after round 2, after round 3, etc, etc. So everyone will know, including those who are unfortunate enough to be viewing this too, but obviously some of the guys that are racing might be viewing it too, to see how they're doing in comparison to other people. There's always something worthwhile. So like I say, we're ready to go at Q4. Just waiting for a few thumbs to go up. So again, we've got everybody there. Everybody's ready to go. Everybody ready to rock and roll. So again, we've got Bocco Bomb, Hellboy, Martin number 10, NPR Young. Sound familiar? Of course it does, because these are probably the 4 fastest guys at the minute. But like I say, sometimes things do change. But also, if you've got the 4 fastest guys in one particular lobby, then it might give some clean track for the guy who's 5th or 6th fastest to go and put himself a really solid time down to see if he can push himself up the leaderboard for that qualifying round. Because that's what it's all about. The main aim of Rallycross, for those of you that don't know, I should have said this earlier, but the main aim in each qualifying round is to get the fastest 4-lap time. I mean, theoretically, you could come 3rd in your heat, but you might end up being 3rd in the whole qualifying round because your heat was the fastest one. So, and at the end of it, the winner gets 50 points. Well, I'll explain the rest after. But in the meantime, who's going to get the top start this time then? Again, you get a bit of a... Project Cars does give you a bit of a random grid, but hey-ho, it's fair for everybody then, isn't it? Unless somebody gets out lucky that they get in the prime position each time. But it's better off, I think, to be wide. So if you're looking at this in the same way I am, the car furthest over to your left, I think, is in the best position. And they're off again, so again we get some solid starts off. I think everybody pretty much got a good start into there. NPR went flying off. Did he go flying off for his Joker? I thought he did, but I just couldn't see the angle. So Martin number 10 assumes the lead, but NPR's already done his Joker. He's got that out of the way, and he would have got a good run into that Joker. So doing it first lap, you get a... Obviously you've got the original start, so you've got a bit more pace going into it. So that maybe there's something to gain by that. But at the moment, like I say, he might be looking as if he's a second and a half behind, because he is, but he's done his Joker, so that's going to pan out over the course. Somebody else was shooting off for the Joker there. So again, like I say, that was Hellboy who's gone in for his. So Martin number 10 staying out front with Bocco, with Magnus sitting in behind him. Those two have got like a 1.8 second lead. This is going to be really tight. But in all fairness, in some tracks, the Joker lap is actually quicker than a normal lap, which I found a bit weird when I was first told that. But it is one definite. I think Magnus is going to... They're both going for it. They're both going for it. Magnus goes on his side pretty much straight away. Oh, no, 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 no. Contact there. It obviously wasn't meant, but it's wrecked Martin number 10 there. It certainly wasn't meant, but... like I say, this is Rallycross. These things do happen. Not that often with guys of this calibre, if I'm really honest, but it's a bit unfortunate there. So at the moment we've got NPR who's taking the lead. And we're into lap 4 of 4. So he's in the lead. Hellboy there is in second place. Closely followed. Right. Bocco there. There might have been a bit of touch in there, but I don't think there was anything bad. In fairness to Martin, he's making a sterling effort of trying to get back up with these guys, but something like that happens in a 4-lap race, you're pretty done for, aren't you? You haven't really got, it's not as if you've got another hour to try and catch everybody up. So as NPR Young takes the win, it's becoming a commonplace thing for him. Hellboy takes the second, Magnus takes the third. The unfortunate Martin, number 10, takes a 4th place there. But again, not the fastest of heats. In fact, in fairness, I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of the slowest in relative times. But that's only because, obviously, you got 1 or 2 touches in there amongst there. A bit unfortunate for Martin, number 10, with the contact with Bocco there. But it was, like I say, nobody means to touch anybody else. It's just so fast-paced. Sometimes you get a tap in the rear or something like that. It doesn't really do you any problem. It doesn't matter. It's neither here nor there half the time. But if you get it in the wrong place at the wrong angle, it's pretty much race ending. And he went straight into the tyre bale there, which was akin to a wall. So, bit unfortunate there for him, 2:29.040. But the good thing is tonight, everyone's in the final. Well, everyone's in the semis anyway, because out of your normal 20, your top 12 will be in the semis. 2 lots of 6 over 6 laps. Obviously, it's not really down to the times then in the semis. It's down to finishing the top 3. Doesn't matter whether you're the slowest semi. You finish in the top 3, you got yourself a place in the final. First 4 rounds, qualifying rounds, is all about time. All about time. How quickly can you do your 4 laps? So basically what you want to try and do in each qualifying round, win your race. If you win your race, then chances are you're going to have a fast time. If you don't win your race, then try and put in as fast a time as you go. No, because if you put in as fast a time as you can possibly do, then realistically, you might be in a better heat than the other 2 or the other 3. So you might come last in your heat, but if your heat is super fast, it is theoretically possible for you still to come 4th on the leaderboard. So it's never, ever, ever a lost cause, because you never know what's going on in the other races or what's going to happen in the other put my teeth back in the other races. But like I say, that's your quali over with. Again, it's taken a little bit longer than we thought because there was a bit of a wait. There's 1 or 2 issues that need ironing out, which is cool. You know, in a perfect environment, then we'd probably get the qualifying done probably inside, well, I would have thought 30 to 35 minutes, give or take. Maybe 40 minutes on the outside. Probably the whole event will probably get down. We'll probably get down to about an hour. Like that's a ballpark figure. Oh dear. Last is last. There's no harm in last. That's all right. Last just means that there are some people in front of you. Depends which way you want to look at that. You can look at it either way, honest. So, like I say, at the moment, let's have a look, see where we are. So, that's our 4 rounds over. So it's basically just a case now of looking at the final leaderboard, the final top 12. Obviously, we know who's in the top 12 because there's 12 people. Well, there's 11 now because we lost Harvard, didn't we? So everyone's going to be in a final, so we're probably going to have a semi of 6, a semi of 5. That'll give us our 6 people for the final, and then we shall see how we do there, won't we? Let's head back down that. That's interesting because your last message, Brambo, is on my chat on here, but it hasn't turned up on the PS4, which is kind of interesting. I don't know whether that's in a good way, but we're still on air and everything's still going, so happy days, we're still alive. But we're down to 2 people watching. Everybody else has just got completely bored. Bless their cotton socks. So obviously we will sit and wait and see what's going on. And I will have another swig of this orange drink. Which is thoroughly pleasant, I might add. Did I say that before? Ah, well. And no, I'm not advertising. I think people would probably pay me not to. I don't know. Could they? That would be really, really good. You could make a load of fortune, couldn't you, for just not advertising something? You just sit there and say nothing. In this weird and stupid world that we live in, that would probably work. I think it could. But you never know. Right. So, at the moment, we're just going to wait on that. Again, these, I know I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. These are probably things that are going to get ironed out. That's what we do this for. And we get to see how long certain things take and all the rest of it, and then we can, if something takes a little while, then we can find things to fill it with, to keep everybody entertained. And no, I'm not going to start juggling or something stupid like that. It's just not going to happen. No, not even with darts or something. Which would be interesting. Probably a bit of a bloodbath. It probably wouldn't last very long, but you never know. Could be halfway interesting. In fact, it'd be hilarious. But as long as it wasn't me. But in the meantime, the last conversation we got, which you can't see on there, but I can see on there, it says from Brambo that he was really happy that he came last. I think in the worst time of the evening in 2 minutes and 44 seconds, which is possibly about yeah. I mean, equate that, if that's like 22 seconds behind somebody who wins in the fastest time, that's got to be about half a lap. Well, it's about a third of a lap, isn't it? Or even no, a lap's about what, 30-40 seconds. So yeah, it's pretty poo. So just thought I'd let you know. But I'm sure you do that anyway. I bet you crashed. Ah, you see, now it's come up. Yay! It's actually now come up on it. It now says so. It's actually come up.
What's happening with that?
So hopefully we're going to be at least you're consistent. Consistency is good. You can only improve. That's one good thing about coming last. You can always do better. Think of it on the positive side.
Big telly, yeah. Right.
So,
What was wrong with them?
let's see. So you can be in the stream. You never know. You can be. Oh, everyone's got something to aim for. Oh, even when you're going for a pee, you've got something to aim for, haven't you? Even my wife thought that was funny. See? It's got to be half it, hasn't it?
You always miss.
Oh, did you hear that? She said I always miss. That's terrible. I've got to give you something to do, haven't I? Oh, isn't it? You might have to clean the floor if I didn't, but I don't know. This is toilet humour. Very much so. So, okay, so we were having some issue with how getting some invites and etc, 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 but hey ho, don't worry. Let's see. fine.
This isn't the big enough lorry, Fred.
Okay, so Crusher's had to go tonight because he had something on, but he wanted to join in, so... So anyway, there we go. So they were the qualifying four. Obviously Robin Norlander got a 2:22.5, Helmer 2:23.6. See, again, they were slower than the previous round, so hey ho. Oh no, you got a 2:31. 2:31, that's alright. Still not quite up to your 2:28. You got 2:28.7 to beat. That was your, I think that was your best one. If I scroll back through them, where did we go? Where did we go? You got a 2:28.76 in. Oh no, that's in Q2. Let's go back to Q1. Q1, what did you do in Q1? 2:29.7. Okay. Then 2:28.76 in Q2. Q3 we'll just ignore. It's probably better that way. And Q4 2:31. Okay, but your first two were 29 and 28. So if you're going to go off like a 28, that's not bad. That's all right. Yeah, walls. I should tell you, they're not really a good thing to do. Hitting them is not great. So effectively, you know, avoid walls. Stay on that sort of grey black stuff as much as possible. You can ride a little bit on the sort of lollipop looking red and white things, but generally the grey stuff. And avoid any other solid object. Otherwise that usually involves serious problems. You can't drive through them, you see. They're pretty solid. Is that sounding sarcastic? Sorry. Yeah, I get that. And like I say, as an Englishman, I just stay well away. No, it is good fun, don't get me wrong. I even bought a Fanatec handbrake. I did buy a handbrake, which I've not actually used properly yet, but I bought one. It's a start, isn't it? Don't know what I'm doing with it, but I bought it. It just seemed a good idea at the time. I thought, oh, it's a handbrake, doesn't that look nice? Yeah, go on, I'll buy it. And it's got a nice little F on it, and it looks really nice. Yeah, okay. But it's cool. So we get the overall results soon. But I know off the top of my head, because it's, I mean, when people say that, I know off the top of my head. How do you know something off the top of your head? I mean, I assume, yeah, it's the top of your head. So if it's up on... Oh, English language has some really weird connotations, doesn't it? Let's have a look on here. So, in round one, Mr. Norlander got 50 points. Lucky as he is. So he got 50 points in that round. He dropped down, he got 40 in that one, so that gave him 90. Oh, he dropped right down then, he got 39. So that gave him 129. But then he got another 50, so that gave him 179. So he's got to be in with a shout of being toward the top. And we might be getting them very soon. See, if they're all in the same place, I could just add them up nice and easy, because I'm a smarty pants, I don't need a calculator. I've got to have some skills, haven't I? There you go, you see, 179. MPR Young 167 tied with Lockout Bomb with 167. L-Boy at 166. Martin number 10 159. Probably would have been better without the contact with Magnus in the previous race, but in all honesty for tonight, that's not the main thing. Don't think it would have altered us massively, but on another night it might have had some consequences, I think is fair to say. But again, not meant, and overall the races, that's the only sort of issue that I know of. RS Ripper 158, Ripper Rapper 147, Harvard on speed 140, Little and Hodge, who is now called somebody else who I've just forgotten, but you are somebody else. He's got 139. Crusher Bro 139. Brambo 134. Well, that's not bad, mate. You've done alright. Helmer 117 obviously missed a race, but it doesn't matter tonight because you're all in the final. Yay! That's where, if you watch the Muppet Show, you see Kermit like throwing his arms around. I'm doing it now, but none of you can see me, which is probably good because I look a complete twat. But so semi-final one will be Mr. Robin Norlander, Bocco Bomb Martin number 10, who I hope the two of them won't have a tete-a-tete. Ripper Rapper Johnny Depp. That's who he is. Not Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp. And Brambo, obviously semi 2 would be MPR Young, L-Boy, RS Ripper, Harvard on Speed, Crusher and Helmer. Obviously Crusher's had to go. But this is where you get to see both the races now. So, like I say, so there you go, you'll get to see all three of these now. And this is how it will go. Let's see. So 2 semis and a final, which is so we'll just wait. Obviously we'll get lobby populated for semi-final 1. As like I say, you got Mr. Norlander, Mr. Bomb. Has anyone ever been called Mr. Bomb? I don't know. I know what his surname is anyway, so it's kind of, I kind of get where the name comes from now. I'll share that with you another day. Keep you in suspense. Can't tell you everything on the first day. It's just not done like that. So Martin number 10, Ripper Rapper, Johnny Depp, Brambo 1997. These are going to be 2 good semis. So we're just about getting ready now. I like the fact that Johnny Depp has got an avatar that looks like Dave Grohl. You're not allowed to have a Dave Grohl avatar. That's obviously come out of some rock game that is like plagiarising Dave Grohl's hairdo and his tash and his beard. But he does look cool because Dave Grohl's cool. In fact, Dave Grohl's probably that cool. He's about the only person who could get away with having lots of other people's wives while they're there because they just love Dave Grohl. It's just one of them things. He is a Foo Fighter and that's the way it is. So, a change of racing style possibly for these ones because you got 6 laps. Hopefully you don't blow up your engine in those 6 laps because like I say, we run as true to life as you possibly can. So everybody's in, everybody's ready to rock and roll. So let's see. So we got the countdown in for all 6 guys. This will be interesting. Like I say, it's 6 laps, so it is a longer race. So if something does go ever so slightly wrong, it's not all over. Name of the game is, doesn't matter what the time is. It could be the worst time in history. Just finish in the top 3. That's it. That's what you go out with. Finish top 3. Doesn't matter. First, second, third matters not. Okay, you get extra points for finishing first, but the reality is, if you want to get in the final, get in the top 3. By hook or by crook, doesn't matter how you do it, just get there. So here we go, full grid. So obviously the way that Project Cars does this, you can probably see, it's like 3 grids of 2 interspersed instead of having 6 across, which would look nice, and is the way it's done in real life, but hey, the game doesn't do it yet, so we can't do so. We can't change that. So everybody's ready to rock and roll. You can hear the engines roar, you can hear the rubber burn. Hopefully everyone gets off to a good start and we get a damn good race. Here we go, the countdown is on. Time to go. Bang, off they go. That seemed to be as if we got a little bit of lag kicking in on there. Some got a good start, some didn't get a good start. So we've got We got two of the guys. Oh, we got Martin number 10 and is that Martin and Magnus again? Yeah, they did have a little bit of touch in there, going in on there. But again, I don't think anything was bad, but they both did their jokers, even though it doesn't show me on this screen, but I know they did. And why have I only got 5 people? Oh yeah, we have 5 in this one, 6 in the other one. Yeah, it's alright, I'm just being a numpty, just ignore me completely. So, in the meantime, let's have a look at everybody then. So, Mr. Norlander is leading at this point in time into lap 2. He's got a 1.5 second lead over Johnny Depp, but obviously they haven't done any jokers yet. We got Martin number 10 in third with Rocco Bomb in close proximity. Ripper is there into, and he's just done his joker. So we are a third of the way through. As you can see, it's all pretty close. Again, not everyone's done their joker, and I can't tell off this screen because it keeps putting other things in front of me. Oh, is Ripper Rapper there? Just got balked a bit by Johnny Depp. But again, I don't think there was anything untoward in that. Yes, there was a little bumpy. Yeah, I thought, what the hell happened? I thought you were in ours. I had to look back on it. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh at the misfortune of others. That's really horrible, isn't it? But I'm assuming that was a disconnection at your end, because the game shouldn't be set to disconnect you if you false start or anything like that. You're just not deemed to be on it, mate. It's just not going to happen for you at all. Anyway, in the meantime, for the 5 that are still here, we're 2/3 the way through. And again, Robin has still got the lead. Oh, he's just hanging on to that from... Oh, no. Oh, my God. It's all gone Pete Tong. I'm just watching it again on the replay because I get it a few seconds later. Oh, that's Robin's done for. Yeah, he's done for. Yeah, that's really bad luck on his part. He just got absolutely catapulted. There's nothing he could do there, I don't think. I wasn't sure exactly what happened. I don't know whether that was him with Johnny Depp. I'm not sure. It happened all too quickly for me to see the whole thing. But again, in real life, obviously after the race, we might get a chance to see what happened there. But so we got Martin number 10 who's in front, who's got the lead in this one. Johnny Depp is in second place. Ripper Rapper is in third with Magnus in tow, because we're on the last lap. And if he wants to get in the final, he's got half a second to make up. He's not going to make it. So we've got Martin number 10, Johnny Depp 34, Ripper Rapper. There you're 3 for the final. I think the big surprise there, I know it's only a test event, but the big surprise there is that Magnus hasn't made it. I'm sure he'll be disappointed with that, but again, like I say, I've said it a million times, I'll say it 1,000,001. It's a test. Poor old Robin got well and truly catapulted there. Again, I don't know exactly what happened, but I mean, for me, there are things I can do, but I'm not going to. I'll take it back to where it should be. So there we go. Martin number 10, 336.3. Obviously it's 6 laps. Johnny Depp 338.7, 339.8 for Ripper Rapper, 340. Obviously a DNF for Mr. Norlander, and for poor old Brambo a DNS. So you're just camera shy, aren't you? You're doing anything not to be on this camera, not to be on here. So obviously we will then get ourselves ready for semi number 2. And we'll wait for the guys obviously to come on in. Obviously if there's don't know whether there's anything to revisit with regard to what happened in that, but certainly with Robin Norlander there, I think it was pretty damn unlucky. But again, like I say, it is a test. We would handle that differently. I think had that happened in a proper race, we'd certainly be reviewing the replays there. And I think it's fair to say that there would be something happening because of that. Because from what I could see, it just looked as if he got ploughed. But again, I might be completely and utterly wrong. It all happened so fast. Even with, I tried to jump to my replay, but obviously because it was only a small number of seconds behind it, then I kind of missed the beginning of it, which was a bit that I really wanted to see. But hey ho, these things happen. So yeah, I'm just going to find an emoji that suits your posting on Discord, by the way. Let's have a look. I know which one I want. That's the one I want. Yay! The faceplant one. It's just got to have it. It just has to be used. So, like I say, from Semi 1, Martin number 10, Johnny Depp, Ripper. So we got French, GB, Finland. It's a nice little mix, isn't it? So, coming into semi-final number 2 here. So what we got? We got Helmer, Elboy, Harvard on speed, RS Ripper, MPR Young. Going off previous what I've seen, I'd be I'm not a betting man anyway, but MPR Young and Elboy have impressed me a bit. Helmer obviously has done really well. Those 3 are probably better tonight than, oh yeah, Helmer needs to change that livery if he's watching. Maybe he's not watching, I don't know. If he can't see on here, I don't know if he can. And I can't leave my own party because it'll be gone. Otherwise I'd jump out of it and go in and tell him what to do on this. But it's not happening. So we can see. Let's have a look. Oh, he is looking. That's alright, he does know. That's okay. I think he's got confused. He might well be confused. I think he thought his number was 51. What is it then? I haven't got a clue. I can't remember. What's it say further up? Does it say? Helmer. 39. Oh no, what am I about? He doesn't say what number he is. I don't know. It said 73. Oh well. That's a bit odd. Who knows what goes on in the world of PS4? It's definitely the Project Cars 2 world. Weird things happen in the Project Cars 2 world that you can never ever know anything about. Even Ian Bell doesn't know. So I think we've got everybody in. We are ready to lock and load, as they say. Let's have a look. Like I say, it could be anybody's this, and that's the thing with Rallycross. It really could be anybody's. You just don't know what's going to go down. And Dan Max says, I'm liking this, lads. Good. Don't know what he's don't know whether he's watching any of our stuff on here. We got 7 people. Wow, I'm impressed. Lucky 7. Helmer says, what's happening? We should be starting. Why, what's happening for Helmer? Let's have a look. He's not there. No Helmer. We haven't got a Helmer. You are watching. I'm gathering your name's Dan and your surname's Max something. So you might be Scottish, but then again, you're probably going to tell me that you're French Polynesian or something. I take that in the right way, by the way. Ah, dear. So, Helmer's not in it. Hang on a minute. Something's going down. Several people are typing. Yeah, okay. It disconnected. Right, okay. That's fine. I didn't get to see that. So, unfortunately, 3 out of 4 are going to go into this final. Yeah, another disconnection. That's a bit unfortunate. Again, it's something you can't do anything about, isn't it? Bit bum. So obviously 3 out of 4 just don't come last in this race. You're in the final. That's not bad. Most people would take that, wouldn't they? So 2 jokers, 2 non-jokers. That seems to be the story of the night, doesn't it? A couple of people seem to be going. A couple of people seem to be going straight for the jokers. Although they probably get a good run out. I would imagine people who've raced here will know. Team Citroën, yes, let's do it for France. Johnny Dipple. That's brilliant. So RS Ripper, again, like I say, he's probably not done himself justice over some of the heats tonight, in all fairness. I agree with you. I think it's fair to say Helmer's not happy with his internet provider. Anyway, yes, that's only because you're in a Citroën. I used to call them Shitron. I wonder why. I don't know. Because they used to look bloody awful. But in the meantime, RS Ripper's obviously into lap 2 of number 6. He's got the lead there. He's been chased down by NPR Young, who I didn't really know. I've not really seen him until tonight, but he's impressed me with some of his racing tonight. Obviously there's some boys that aren't racing tonight, like Johnny, who I will expect to see, who are good racers too. Some of the guys that aren't here are also exceptionally good, so it's going to be a really good grid. Every week's going to be a really good grid, or every fortnight. But in the meantime, like I say, NPR Young, he's got himself the lead, whereas RS Ripper went and did his joker lap. So halfway around, NPR has got the lead. Is he going to go joker, or no, he's not going to go joker. Fair enough. Wonder if he's trying to build himself. He's got 2.62 seconds. It's going to be close. I reckon what he's trying to do is, over this lap and the next lap, try and build himself a little bit of a gap with that clean air, because that comes into it, doesn't it, big time. You do a joker lap, it's not just a case of I've done my joker lap. If you're out front, you're better off leaving it, because you've got all this clean air to run into. So you've got the biggest advantage out there on the track. So I think he's going to go. Yeah, he's going to go, because I think he thought he had enough advantage, and I think it's tight. I think it's really... Oh, no. Oh, I can bet you he's probably come out with a few single-syllable words that you'll find in the Oxford English Dictionary. Like work, damn, things like that. Anyway, everyone's done their joker lap. So there's a little battle between, you've got 2 little battles going on, haven't you? You've got NPR, who's just had the amazing crash, and his car's trying not to fall apart like an Airfix model kit. Harvard obviously is trying his level best to catch up with him. But RS Ripper, I think for the first time tonight, has probably driven like I've seen him drive in the past. When I saw him earlier on, he probably not lived up to what my expectations were, and I don't mean that in a bad way, mate. It just means that I think highly of your driving usually. But he takes the win. He takes the win there. Elboy takes the second place, and MPR Young, no disrespect to Harvard, but I think, in all fairness, he probably deserved a place in the final, didn't he? Let's be fair. I'm not on anyone's side, but I think he deserved a place there for that. But yeah, sort of how to try and destroy your own chances was really up on that. But look at all those lap times, their best lap times: 34.4, 34.2, 34.3, 34.5. Not much in between those. So RS Ripper, Elboy, MPR Young, the unfortunate Harvard on speed, and the even more unfortunate Helmer tend to miss out. So we now have our 6 guys for the final. It's just a case of what grid position do you get? That's the one thing. Obviously, in real rallycross, I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty damn sure that obviously the guy who qualifies with the best time gets the prime position on the grid, just as you would in anything. But PS4 hasn't kind of worked that out yet. Bless its cotton socks. PS4 just goes 6 people, random. But yeah, it's PS4, so soon to be replaced with PS5, which will be spanky, brilliant, hugely expensive, and probably won't do half the things that you really would want it to, but like make yourself a cup of coffee, or I don't know, magically give you a wonderful sexy babe every time you feel randy. But that's just not going to happen either, is it? Yep. The other mini team GB, can't fault it. Can't fault it. They're trying to do the sheets behind the scenes. Whose sheets? And what are you doing to them? That sounds really, really dodgy. I mean, it's past the 9 o'clock watershed in Europe, so we're alright, we get away with it. But just anyone in the UK, just don't watch this until after 9 o'clock, please. Oh, Google. Google Sheets. You're better off going old school. Going old school and using Excel spreadsheets with lots of sum formulas. So you just plop it all in, it does it all for you. I used to do loads of them. Once. Hand and paper. You could use your hand and then put it on the paper. We're still talking about writing, by the way, just in case anyone gets any weird ideas of something else. In the meantime, the sexy 6 for the final. No, I've seen what some of these look like. They're certainly not that. We're going to call them the dirty half dozen. That sounds better, doesn't it? So we got Martin number 10, RS Ripper, Johnny Dip, Elboy X850, Ripper Rapper, and MPR Young. All in the final. So we've got 2 Frenchmen, 2 Finnish, 1 Norwegian, and 1 British. But is he English, Irish, Scottish, or Welsh? That is the question. Answers on a postcard, and there's no backstops involved. And this race will finish before Brexit. That much I'm going to say. I'm confident of that. It's about the only thing I'm confident of, but it is going to happen. I know it is. And so will the race. So, again, for our test screening for this evening, Johnny's just changed his car because I think he was in the wrong one. But now he's in the right one, so he's happy. RS Ripper's good to go. So is Elboy. Everyone's good to go. I'm just going to get the thing. Am I good to go? I certainly am. We're all good to go. Just waiting for MPR Young, who's also good to go. So, this is the climax, everybody. Yes. Of course, we had to get a Brexit comment in. It just would not be right, would it, without a Brexit comment? You just got to get these in. If everyone wants to know who G32 Turbo is, he's G32 Turbo. So there you are. Shouldn't be so bloody nosy, should you? Anyway. So, we have our dirty half dozen ready to go to hell once more. Somebody told me I was going to go to hell. In fact, loads of people have during the course of my life, but I've never been there. So, if anyone wants to send me any free tickets and a flight, then crack on, because it's perfect weather for me, because I love it when it's cold. Anyway, here we go. 6 men in the final. Hopefully it will be a nice clean final, but it's rallycross, so hey, who knows. But we'll see what transpires. 6 laps of metal mayhem, I think, is a fair way of putting it. So we are good to go. We're all syncing up with PlayStation. No disconnections, please. We don't want none of them, do we? No. And they're off. It sounds like I'm Julian Wilson back from ITV7 watching the horse racing, but no, it's not. These horses are all metal. They have 4 wheels and 600 brake horsepower under the bonnet. And as usual in most of our races, you always get somebody shooting off for a joker lap. It might have been 2, but because I've got so many of these other things up showing on my screen, I can't tell who's done it. But RS Ripper, who looked back to form in the last semi-final, is taking the lead. He's taking up the gauntlet in the start of this, with Martin number 10, who looks like a piece of grass as I just changed over to him. He's in hot pursuit. MPR Young in 3, who's gone for his joker lap, so he's going to take that, which again gives him enough time to maybe catch up with the other guys, because again, like I say, if you haven't seen Rallycross, you don't know what it's all about. Everyone's got to do a joker lap. Oh, bit of contact there. That was a bit of a slap, wasn't it? After the slap comes the tickle. Yes, definitely. But that's for another show. Anyway, so meanwhile, RS Ripper's ripping it up. Forgive that pun. It's probably not the worst one I'll ever come out with, but it'll do for now. With obviously Martin number 10 in hot pursuit, Elboy there in 3rd. Obviously we've got good old Johnny Dip. That's a great name, isn't it? MPR Young, who's probably old, and Ripper Rapper, who probably doesn't rap and he doesn't rip anything. But between all that, it's cool. And yes, if anyone wants to know, RS Ripper and Ripper Rapper are actually related. They don't just think, oh, I want your name in my name. There is some relationship going on there. Although I'm not trying to infer anything that's untoward. It's just to do with the name, okay? Before anyone sends any lawsuits. So, anyway, 2/3 of the way in, and as you can see, this technique looks really easy, but it's not. I've tried it, and I made an absolute pig's ear of it. It takes a bit of practice, to be fair. In fact, it takes a hell of a lot of practice, to be fair. So RS Ripper's holding his own, because nobody else wanted to. But this is a good battle. Sorry for the rest of the guys, but I'm going to stay here for the moment, because these guys are having a nice little battle. What I might do... Oh, okay, that's just kiboshed that idea. I was actually going to go to a different view. But in trackside, in Rallycross, you get far better view than you do on any of the others. So that's why we tend to stick with it. But so RS Ripper's going to leave it till the death to do his joker lap, but he's got a 3.1 second head start. Well, and usually you're looking about 1.8 seconds. And again, it's worth him staying out, because if you've got the clean air, you've got the best track. That's about one of the few similarities with track racing, is the fact that, hey, we all like clean air. There you go. He's going to come out with about a second. Yeah. Just under, actually, so it'll be a little fight now. And believe it or not, after 6 laps, the tyres are hammered on these cars. They're absolutely mullered. I wish there was a way I could actually bring that up on the screen so people could see, but they are absolutely destroyed after 6 laps. So are the engines half the time. I've seen so many people blow their engines in a 6-lap race. No names mentioned Kyle, if you ever get to watch this. But so in the meantime, there we go. RS Ripper comes good at the end. Only in the semi and the final did he really show what he's all about, and It's a high caliber field this, so he's got the win on our test night. I think everyone should take plaudits for this evening. It's been a good night all round. It's been good fun. And I'm just looking at a red wall. Why do I get a red wall every time? It's just not fair. I'm not in Russia, am I? And I mean, it's either a red wall or an iron curtain. No, we're probably going to get... I went to say Vladimir Klitschko. Why did I go to say Vladimir Klitschko instead of Putin? Don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, must have had too much to do. I don't know what it is. But I hope you enjoyed that. That was our test night. Obviously, we will be doing proper rallycross nights on a Wednesday night. So if you liked it, tell your friends. If you didn't like it, don't tell them. Or tell them that it was great and brilliant and wonderful and everything else that you want it to be. But yeah, we had a few issues tonight, but that's what a test race is all about. Hope everybody enjoyed it, and till next time, I'm going to keep on talking. See you later, guys. Ta-da.